Hi ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Outriders. Today we're going to be talking about a farm slash an XP farm. Not really an exploit, but this is, I feel like, what a lot of somewhat of Outriders is going to be, to some extent. But I digress. Now, ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be talking about how to essentially farm XP within Outriders pretty damn quick. I kept my eye on Reddit, on everything, and I came to this being something that I think we're going to be using for a long time coming. Not only because you can do it really quick, but also it just seems like everything kind of adds up and makes sense. And when it's funny, because I was actually doing this and I was thinking, if there's any way to reset this is going to be massive. And of course what I'm doing is basically we're going to be farming down this giant bridge kind of area, killing enemies and such. But before we do any of that, some disclaimers. First things first, the process of getting stronger in Outriders is a process. So if you're going to do this and hammer it to the ground, don't be surprised when you kill everything in a couple seconds, because we're going to be getting a lot of levels pretty damn quick. But not only that, the reason why this farm is also really good is because if you have a decent, okay world level, then you're recruiting a ton of resources in which you can break down, and that's going to facilitate your entry in to endgame. Now, I won't say do this on level or tier level 1. For those guys who don't know, the whole world tier system is new and frankly a little complicated. But essentially, no matter what world tier you are going to get the same amount of XP from killing enemies. So people might be like, okay, well then we'll just stay on tier 1 and just do this really quick. Well, no, because you still want to get decent enough artifacts and gear. Like if you can get purples to drop and break those down and keep the purple mods, or every time you break down those special armors, you're going to have a chance of getting a end tier crafting resources. Why not do that too if you can? And with the amount of enemies you're killing, hopefully they'll drop a weapon which you can use to kill them. But by all means, if you're dying in the middle of this farm and you can't even see it all the way through, then yeah, drop the world level until you can manage. But with the rate in which you're going to be getting drops, you're probably going to be okay. So first thing is adjust your world level accordingly. Try to do it so that you can actually manage, but not to where you're going to just completely and utterly shit the bed. Now another thing that happens with your world level is your world level next progression. So essentially, if you keep dying and you're at world level 8, the game will course correct and basically not let you pass. So if you want to use this method to gain world level, you can. In fact, it's not the worst idea because we're fighting a lot of melee tier enemies. And the reason why it also works out is because we're killing so many enemies, it's always going to net a higher world tier, if that makes any sense. So basically, if you die, you lose world tier. If you kill enemies, you gain world tier. So that's kind of the game you're playing. But because we're doing this kind of farm, we're killing so many enemies, or hopefully you're killing a good bit of the enemies that are spawning, that will gain you more world tier than normal. But and again, you'll get chances of dropping gear. I'll be honest, the whole world tier thing probably can chill out because there's a huge power incentive to be able to get to level 30 before you can necessarily get the gear, because like having certain perks in your skill tree that can just massively amplify your damage makes a big deal. And because this exists, with the way that we're doing it, we're gonna be able to do fine. I'll just show you guys. I'll shut up and I'll show you guys. But there's one more thing I gotta let you guys know about. Now, for those of you guys who are unaware, we're actually going to be coming back to the first city. So that's the first thing that you're gonna need to do, is you need to make your way back to the first city. No spoilers, by the way, in here. Essentially, you can unlock as much as you want. It doesn't matter. You're gonna be using the car to go everywhere, and it's no cutscene weirdness, nothing like that, unless you go to a new place. But ideally, you've finished the first city. That's the kind of the quest prerequisite. Yes and no, you can do it mid-quest, but this is just easier. Just finish the first city. Okay, perfect? Perfect. Now, you're going to want to go to a new place. For me, it's Eagle Peaks. It's like this mountaintop. Don't worry about it. Anyways, when you have arrived there and you have access to your cart again, your driver, drive back to the first city. And also, if you happen to mess up this farm, just do that. You just basically go away and come back drive-wise to the first city in this menu. So I'd go back to the first city here. So now that you've done that, you've basically reset the first city's encounter. Do you understand? So that's why we're doing that. Perfect. Now, you're going to make your way not to this mark right here, which looks like the bridge. We're going to make our way here, which is the side alley, which is actually weirdly exactly near the bridge. It's weird. It doesn't make most sense, to be honest. But there is one more thing that is of crucial note before we actually start the farm, and so you guys can understand it and see what's going on. Well, I mean, you guys kind of know what's going on. We're just going to be killing an absorbent amount of enemies, which gains you experience. And because we're killing so many enemies, they have a chance of dropping things that our world level is going to be getting increased if we're at the max world level. If we're not, then it's not going to get increased. So we'll do a couple runs and show you guys. But before we do that, crucially important, super great. You should just do this for just generally speaking, because it's great. In the gameplay tab, there's this amazing feature called the auto loot minimum rarity, whatever. This. You can change this to be legendary, but don't. Keep it at common for right now. Because what this is this allows you to, on your console of choice, for me it's down on my D-pad. When I hit down on my D-pad, it sucks up all of the loot, I think in the level, because it's just huge radius. So this will make it so that you don't have to run across the mile. Maybe you don't see something, just hit down a couple times on the D-pad and you'll suck up all the loot, and it'll be good like that. You will have to take a couple seconds, because basically we're gonna die at the end of this, and then we're actually spawn right here. And then we're just going to break down any gear that we have. You can maybe you could run away and sell it, but always make sure you die, reset, and then do whatever you need to do before you do this encounter. Now this is what the farm is. Basically, we're just going to run over here. Enemies galore are going to start spawning. By the way, again, have any means to kill them. Hopefully, if you're playing a certain class, you've gotten decent drops, but also you will be getting drops from this. But you can make this whatever you kind of really want. You can make this in like a farm of XP and just kind of do that. Or you can, in my opinion, try to get as much as you can out of it, such as getting loot and stuff like that. Also, these guys have a chance of dropping, I think, like meat or something. I digress, but yes, you're just going to be melting down all of these enemies that are going to be coming to you. Now, you can also do some interesting things. You can actually train them along if you have a specific skill that has AoE, and then do this. And just kill them all that way if you want. So there's plenty of methods to the madness. So we're gonna do this right now. I'm at like a very manageable world level, kind of what I'm progressing, which is usually 2 world levels below what it suggests for me to do. Which, dude, by the way, side thing, who would have thought Outriders is going for like a Dark Souls level of mental? Like, what is that? I was like, after playing the demo, I was like, oh, this is gonna be a cakewalk, and then shit, them word levels kick your teeth in. Like, oh, this is not a game anymore. Okay. Well, shit, I didn't know I was signing up for this. But also with the way like damage and builds happen, it kind of should have been suspected a little bit, because it's just, yeah, with everything having like an iota of power to be gained, it makes sense that things get, things are hard. Because why would you need so many tiny little damage improvements? So anyways, you're just going to be keeping doing this. Use any of your abilities. I probably should have some AoE abilities here, actually, just to be a little more efficient. But right here, you can kind of play really stupid. You can get hit a bunch of times, it's fine. Well, maybe if you're playing a high world tiers, not so good. But we're going to hit down on the D-pad and collect that thing right over there, just in case. Could be something behind me, could be something to my left, all that. Now, we don't really need to pay attention until we get near the bridge. And that's why, by that I mean like when enemies start spawning. So when we get closer, more enemies will start spawning. Or take care of them, same as we've been doing. But there's going to be this boss-like enemy that spawns. As soon as he spawns, you're allowed to kill him, but be careful not to spam your abilities so that you're not going to kill every tiny enemy in the area. So there's this guy who's not the boss. You can melt him really fast. As soon as he dies, you're going to see the big boss spawn in. Give it a minute. So there he is. I'm just going to smack him. Apparently I'm not, because the game's like, you don't get to have fun. All right. He can kill you. Right now, basically, you just have to be careful to not kill the enemies that you're going to be using to basically reset. So right now, you're going to need to die, or else you could kill everyone and then go to a fast travel to another part of this, to like another area, like away from the first city, and then spawn back into the first city. But right now, we're just going to die. We could just like kill all of them and have one left, but because we just killed so many, and we have like died to like 1 or 2. In fact, we could have killed like at least just had 1 left standing and let him kill us. The world tier like loss isn't crazy. In fact, let's actually try to prove that to some extent. Well, also I got a class point. Yeah, so this is again truth be told, one of the reasons why I'm doing this is because I'm about to go stream, and I just want to make sure I'm not like doing story spoilers and whatnot for people who are tuning into the stream. So I'm just like, what can we do that's efficient, help me, but not like the worst. This is it. Okay, so let's go to the highest world tier we can possibly go, which for us is level 7. And again, what that does is increases enemies' levels, but also increases the level of items dropped by 5. So if you're level, I don't know, 15, you're gonna get a level 20 things to drop, which is weirdly how the end game kind of works. I think it's like your max level is 30, but your weapon drops can be 50. It's I think. I'm not, could be crazy. Anyways, loot rarity modifiers are increased by 200%, and also legendary drop chances are continuously being increased when you get to level 8. But things are also getting a lot harder, but also, as long as you're running away, you're kind of fine. Yeah, but because we died, yeah, see, enemies are still getting dropped even at this world level. We're gonna grab that, but again, the rare, like the getting the what do you call it? The things that are dropping because we're at world level 7 are going to be of a higher quality. So yeah, and honestly, to me, and again, this is one of the things I wanted to mention right at the top, was just be careful. Some people get things from different games. Some people, this game might be they're getting a kick out of the challenge of it. Then absolutely, probably don't do this. Just like maybe do a little bit, maybe come back if you're starting not to have any fun anymore. But for me, what I get incredible enjoyment from these games is making builds. I really like piecing together these weird things to all come together in a perfect like synchrony. I love that. So the faster I can get there, the better. Also, this is something that I think is going to be relevant for a long time, just because of the way all of these enemies kind of spawn in. I don't see this being like over and done with. We're never going to do this farm ever, because it just seems to be quite good. I think we'll have different farms, and I'll show a lot of them to you guys when it comes to like different materials. Also, I happen to get a good weapon that has like AoE, so that just kind of helps. But even like right now, they like because these enemies are, I don't really think they're meant to just wreck you to pieces. We might have a little bit of a struggle when it comes to getting over there, but otherwise, I think like when it comes to dealing with this big boss, then maybe. But otherwise, I'm not sure if it's going to be too bad. And again, you could equip skills that are better suited for dealing with all these kinds of enemies if you want. Right now, I'm kind of par for the course, okay. Yeah. This person's gonna spawn in. We're gonna quickly shred him with some shotgun shells. I feel like this gun should do significantly more damage. It doesn't, and that's unfortunate. That's real. Ooh, we're getting real wrecked. There we go. Okay. So one of the things I wanted to try, and this is to be a little. Okay, well I couldn't try, but even there, you guys could see we have like a huge chunk of like world tier, and we didn't lose all of that because we died. We lost a little bit because of the sheer quantity of things that we were able to kill, it's working out. Now you guys might be like, oh, but that's bad because, I don't know why you think that, but honestly, oh, it's bad because it's increasing my world tier. Yes, but it's also dropping gear that's 5 levels above, basically that is the world tier. So not only are you gaining experience, but you're also increasing your world tier, which is not bad because you're getting gear. Now you can break down that gear, a lot of it that's excess, and with each coming world tier increase, the quality of the gear is going to get better, and there is going to fundamentally think again. If you get to a point where you can't progress, if every enemy just becomes like an absolute bullet sponge, yeah, stop. Go back in world tier. Stop progressing with world tier until you build up enough. Until you get a weapon to drop that's pretty good that can kind of carry you through this if you really want to get to the very peak end of efficiency for this if you want. And again, one more thing to recap. If you happen to not mess up, but if you happen to die or like kill every enemy and then you get a little icon that says unlock the bridge, all you need to do is leave the first city. This is this whole zone. So go back to the very beginner area, go to the mountaintop, go wherever, and then come back, and that will reset the entire first zone, and then you can do this as many times as you desire. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the first of many guides, many farms. Hopefully that made some sense. I did my best with the weird but also awesome kind of new things that Outriders is adding in terms of like the way they're scaling the end game, which I'm enjoying a great deal. And again, just be careful if you do this excessively. You could like get really at end game before you're ready and skip a lot of the boss fights, and they're fun and etc. But again, if you're like me, really like endgame, really would like to be efficient and make use of your time if you can, then why not do that? But I digress, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks so much for your time. Hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of your day. We are going to be making much more Outriders content, so hopefully you can tune in for the ride. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate you immensely, and goodbye. Also, for anyone who supported the video, much love. I always forget to say that. Thank you kindly. Bye.